Today you'll get a paper with a heart already traced on it. The side with the heart is the front. On the back, you will write your name with pencil. When you're writing your name, try to write it so that any teacher or any other person looking at it could read it. Now on the front, with the side with the heart, I want to make 4 or 5 lines on the inside of the heart and 4 or 5 lines on the outside. I'm going to think about making my lines go from one edge to the other edge. They could be straight lines. They could be curved lines. It's up to you how your lines look. So I've drawn 1, 2, so maybe I'll draw 3 or 4 more lines. I don't want to have too many lines because inside each of these different sections, I'm going to create a pattern. So I want to think about how my pattern is going to look. Each line should start and stop on a line. I shouldn't have one that hovers in the middle somewhere. So I've got my lines on the inside of my heart that I've drawn with a pencil, and then I'm going to connect my heart to the edge of my paper in 4 or 5 spots. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I've drawn all of this with a pencil, my next step will be tracing with a marker. When I'm tracing with a marker, I'm not drawing any new lines. I'm just going on top of the lines I already have. This works best if my eyes and my focus is on the paper as I draw. If I'm looking at something else, it's going to be much harder for me to do a good job tracing my lines. It's okay if it's not exactly the same. Tracing is a way for us to practice and try our best. I don't expect it to look perfect. Even mine, there's places where the marker is a little different from the line. That's okay. But I do want to try to follow the line as closely as I can. I've found that I can do a better job when I go slowly. So if it looks like your marker and your pencil are really different, that's a clue that you might need to slow down. I also want to go slow when I get close to the edge of my paper because I want to keep the marker only on the paper. I don't want the marker to go on my table. So when I get to the edge, I always want to slow down even more. I'll know I'm done when I can't see any of the pencil lines. I can only see the lines that I've traced with the marker. So I'm tracing all of the lines on the front of my heart, and when I finish with that, I'm going to stop and close the marker really well. To close my marker, I want to make sure there's no gap when I put the cap on. If there's a gap, is it closed? No. I have to push and twist to really close it. You can also close it by pushing it against the edge of the table till you feel a click or hear a click. And when you can't see any gap in the edge, you'll know it's closed. It's a little hard to see on my screen right now, but in real life you can tell when the marker is closed when there's no gap.